A couple of years ago, someone called me a snake on social media, and it caught on.
I write a lot of songs about love, and I think that's because to me, love seems like this huge, complicated thing. But it seems like every once in a while, two people get it figured out. Two people get it right. And so I think the rest of us, we walk around daydreaming about what that might be like. To find that one great love, where all of a sudden everything that used to seem so complicated became simple. And everything that used to seem wrong all of a sudden seemed right because you were with the person who made you feel fearless.
Welcome to the Speak Now World Tour. To tell you a little bit about me, I spend most of my time writing songs about life and love and heartbreak and love and heartbreak and love and heartbreak. Mostly just writing songs about love and heartbreak. But you know, one thing that you guys have taught me is that no matter what language we speak, no matter how far away we live from each other, most of us experience love and heartbreak exactly the same way. And by showing up tonight, you have also taught me that no matter what love and heartbreak throws at me, it's gonna be alright.
The idea that I would be playing songs that I wrote about my feelings in New Zealand and having you guys sing all the words back to me, I think if you would have told me that when I first started writing songs when I was 12, I would have just said, you're lying, that's not gonna happen. That's too cool, that's not gonna happen. Because weirdly enough, since I was 12, the topics, the things that I've written songs about has changed over the years as I've grown up, but the reason I write songs has stayed exactly the same. I write songs in order to understand what I'm going through and in order to cope with what life dishes out. And when I was younger, it used to be, well, when I was 12 and I started writing songs, I did not have much of a social life going on. I have to be honest with you. I did not have 12,000 people wanting to hang out with me on Friday night back then. And it used to kind of really bum me out. Not really having very many friends and not feeling like people really understood me, and so I would write songs in my bedroom, and then I felt like I was understood, at least by my guitar or something. And so I think back then, I used to think about what it would be like to be a singer and to be able to be on stage in front of thousands of people who understood you and people who got you and understood where you were coming from. And I think, for me, I imagined that if I got to be a singer and got to be on stage in front of thousands of people who understood me, if that ever happened to me, I would never have to deal with mean kids or people who make things up about you or talk about you behind your back or reject you. And I think that one of the things that I learned in the last couple of years is that no matter how old we are, or no matter where we live, or whether or not we get to have our wildest dreams come true in our life, people are mean to other people. That's just how it works. And I think one of the things that I've learned recently. And I hope that someday you learn this too, or maybe when I say this, it will occur to you, because it makes life a little bit easier when you realize that it's not our job to make other people like us if they don't want to. The most important thing to do when someone's mean to you, or someone really hurts you, or puts you down, or tells you that you don't deserve what you want, or makes you feel like you're weird if you're different. If any of those things happen to you, it might be helpful if you don't necessarily try to confront it head on. Maybe it's more important that you just take a mental note that you will never, ever intentionally make someone else feel the way that they've just made you feel. And I think the world would be a lot nicer place to live.
I think for me, when I sit down at the piano or I pick up a guitar to write a song, the main goal is just to say exactly what I'm feeling at the time that I'm feeling it. So it's like you try to write in real time, and what you end up with, I guess, is albums that are kind of like massive collections of journal entries. And I think the thing about a journal entry is you think that when you're writing it, you must be the only person who's ever felt that way. And you feel completely alone in that moment. And so I guess what I'm trying to say to you now is thank you for taking those collections of moments where I felt really, really alone, and memorizing the words to them and singing them back to me in a concert, so I really don't feel alone anymore. A lot of times I write songs in order to cope or to forget someone. And to think about trying to forget someone, it's just the most complicated thing you can try to do. So it's hard to write how you feel about trying to forget someone when you don't even know how you feel half the time, so how could you write about it? I guess in the case of this song, I decided instead of trying to write how I felt, I would just write down the story from beginning to end, because I remembered it all too well.
I say to you, when you start to compare yourself to other people, please change the channel in your mind to something else. Because I think that when it comes to how we see ourselves, other people are really mean, but we're really mean to ourselves. And so it's easy to get confused. And when you do get confused, and you start feeling like you're not special, or you're not different, or you have nothing important to say, we all feel like that sometimes. But I want you to do right now, if there's one thing you remember from tonight, remember what I'm about to say. You need to look into the mirror in the morning and not tell yourself that you're not special, or you're not good enough, you're not pretty, or you're not awesome. I'm going to tell you right now the things you actually are not, okay? These are the things you really are not. You are not the opinion of somebody who doesn't know you. You are not damaged goods just because you've made mistakes in your life. You are not going nowhere just because you haven't gotten where you want to go yet. Those are the things you actually are not. Now, I want to tell you what you are. You are your own definition of beautiful and worthwhile. That's what you are. And And you are someone who is wiser because you made mistakes. Not damaged, wiser. You are somebody who could be, at this moment, right now, sitting there. You are going through whatever you're going through in your life that's stressing you out or confusing you or making you upset. But you got out of bed and you put on an awesome outfit and you came to a concert, and now we are all having the best time ever on a Wednesday night. You know, it's not about perfection. It's about just getting on with things sometimes. Sometimes you just get credit for getting up and going on with things. And you don't have to do it perfectly. And I think that we mistake our mistakes for damage, and we think other people will judge us for them. But I want you to know that the way I see mistakes, they don't make you damaged. They make you clean.
I really enjoy hearing what's going on in your life. Like, I really appreciate the fact that for 10 years, you know, I've been writing songs about my life and sharing them with you, and now you feel comfortable sharing your life with me too. I'm really happy about it, so thank you. So when I read your letters or your messages or your comments or, you know, things that you write to me, it makes me happy, or it makes me think. A lot of the time it makes me think, because you'll tell me what's going on with you, like what's going on with you and your friends, or what's going on with your love life. And more often than not, I get asked questions about, like, what should I do in this relationship scenario, which I feel like is probably because I have had a tendency to write songs about relationship-based things. Occasionally I have done that. And so, you know, a lot of the time, most recently, I get, you know, letters, or you'll say this to me in person, or comments, and most of the time I feel like what most people are dealing with in their love lives is just the complicated nature of how, you know, you text someone and then they don't text you back for 2 hours, and what does that mean? And then you feel like you're getting mixed signals, and like they followed you on Instagram, but does that mean that they like you? And then, but they also like this other girl's picture, so what does that mean? But then they liked your selfie last week, so what's that? Or you're with someone and you want to be with them and you know that they're into you, but they haven't committed or defined the relationship, and you're like, I don't want to ask the question, but what's going on here? Has that ever happened to anyone here? So here's the thing. I have no idea how to fix any of these issues, but I will tell you that I think you're amazing, and I think that you deserve to be committed to, and I think that you deserve for someone to be sure that they want to be with you. That's all I'm going to say. Just my opinion. I don't really like gray areas. I don't really like when people say, I don't know, when it's a basic yes or no question. Do you want to be with me? Yes or no is the answer. And I tend to think that, you know, relationships are much less complicated than we make them if we simplify it to 2 basic options. Would you like to hear the 2 basic options, Boston? Okay, I think that your 2 real decisions and your 2 real options in a relationship are, you either leave or
commit.
Stay. See what I did?
In my opinion, I happen to feel that being vulnerable and being honest about how you feel and saying how you feel is really brave. You guys, June is Pride Month.
about how it's very brave to be vulnerable about your feelings in any sense, in any situation, but it's even more brave to be honest about your feelings and who you love when you know that that might be met with adversity from society. And so, this month and every month, I want to send out my love and respect to everybody who has been brave enough to be honest about how they feel, to live their lives as they are, as they feel they should be, as they identify. And this is a month where I think we need to celebrate how far we've come. We also need to acknowledge how far we still have left to go. And I want to send my love and respect out to everybody who in their journey in their life hasn't yet felt comfortable enough to come out, and may you do that in your own time, and may we end up in a world where everyone can live and love equally and no one has to be afraid to be vulnerable and say how they feel. Because when it comes to feelings and when it comes to love and searching for someone to spend your whole life with, it's all just really delicate, you know?
With you tonight. It's like we've got this Saturday night. Anybody could be doing anything with their time. We've got 55,000 people who have converged in one place. And sometimes wrapping my mind around that is just confounding and magical, because I feel like what that must mean is that all 55,000 of us have something in common, which to me is really comforting. And I think that that thing might possibly be that I don't think that we're afraid of being alone, but I think that people, and rightfully so, are afraid of feeling lonely. I think you can have a perfectly good day on your own, doing your own thing, being alone, being by yourself. But I don't think you can really have a good day feeling lonely. And you can feel lonely in a crowd of people. You can feel lonely when you're with your friends. You can feel lonely when you're with the person that you're with. It's a feeling. It's not the amount of people in the room. And something that always keeps me from feeling lonely are when I was off tour. I took a little bit of a break from touring, and you guys were so understanding, because the reason I took a break is I wanted to understand what my life would be like if there wasn't a spotlight on it, and it was really important for me. But the thing that always kept me from feeling lonely is the memories that I had of the times I looked out into a crowd and you were singing the words to a song I wrote in my bedroom. And you better know that anytime I'm feeling really down and really low, or I read something that's not true, or something just knocks me sideways, please know that I will be thinking about this night, and I'll be thinking about you.
You might be wondering why there's so many snakes everywhere, huh? Well, the reason is that a couple of years ago, someone called me a snake on social media, and it caught on. And then a lot of people were calling me a lot of things on social media. And I went through some really low times for a while because of it. I went through some times when I didn't know if I was gonna get to do this anymore. And I I guess the snakes, I wanted to send a message to you guys that if someone uses name calling to bully you on social media, and even if a lot of people jump on board with it, that doesn't have to defeat you. It can strengthen you instead. And I think something that came out of it that was good is that I learned a really important lesson that I've been telling you from the stage for about 10 years. But I never had to learn it so harshly myself, and that lesson has to do with how much you value your reputation. And I think that the lesson is that you shouldn't care so much if you feel misunderstood by a lot of people who don't know you, as long as you feel understood by the people who do know you, the people who will show up for you, the people who see you as a human being.
Subscribe to this channel